There we go. Hey y'all, welcome to another video. I was literally trying to decide what I was gonna do today. I was like, am I running out? Am I gonna get some things done at home? And then I cut myself. So if y'all see that, I'm looking crazy. It's not as red as it was, but I don't want to put a band-aid on. But anyway, I was like, either way, got this little I love New York shirt on, little crop top thingamajig. I'm not gonna wear this out, but I was like, do I get dressed and make my video and then go out, or this is not about what I got on. I'm just disclaimer. Today we're going to be talking about high risk and hire car. For those of you who don't know, let me take this out. I bought a car while I still had an existing car note. I know. I was upside down on the loan, didn't want to take cash and pay it off. Didn't want to give my car away, literally. So I owed like $8,000. It was only worth 36 on their standards. Thought about, all these different options, rolling it in, blah, blah, blah. And I said, forget it. My credit union gave me the loan regardless for my new car. And I bought my new car, my Volvo XC90. I love that car. I have no regrets, even though I put 10 down, did not finance the taxes and fees to get the payment because it was a $40,000 car, to get the payments where I would be comfortable and I could carry two notes. So I had been doing some research about Turo, Hyre car, and things like that, but there wasn't a lot of information about Hyre car as much as there was about Turo. And Turo turned me down, I guess, because the car mileage was out of their range. The car has over 190,000 miles on it. So fine, I get it, but it's still a good car. It's accurate. I've never had any issues with it. I've had it for 3 years. It's up to date on everything. I've never been broke down. I've never had any issues. And it passed the Virginia State inspection. So I was like, let me try this out. My father, being a Libra and being a former military man, was like, you're not Enterprise. Do not rent that car out. Get rid of it. And I was like, look. And I've mentioned my relationship with my dad on this channel. I love my daddy. I'm my daddy's girl. But the older I get, the more I have to say, you're not raising me anymore. I appreciate your opinion. I value your advice. But the day he called me an idealist, I was like, oh, you must not know about me, because everything is not black and white. Everything is not, yes or no. Like there is some gradient space there. And I have a very high risk tolerance, a very high tolerance to risk. I will always bet on myself. I will always try something. I will always know how to pivot and say, well, that didn't work, but I have to try. And I think sometimes with different personalities and different backgrounds and experiences, people can tend to think they're helping you and think they're giving you wisdom, advice, and knowledge from their experience, but their experience is based on a very narrow viewpoint. And nothing against anyone that is older, nothing against the roles of parents. There'll be some things that, hold on, coffee sip. There'll be some things that I'll share with my daughters, and they will have to make a decision. Do what mom says, go that route, or try my own thing. I'm not going to take any offense to that, but I'm also never going to steer them away from trying something that could benefit them. We're not talking about risks like date the dude that's a loser. He may turn it around. Date the dude that's going to drag you down. The love may be enough. Or, buy the car with an existing car note when you know you can't afford it. Yeah, take that risk because you may look up on some money. You may win the lottery. You know what I mean? Buy the car when you know you're unemployed right now, because why not? You only live once. I'm not talking about those type of risks. I'm not talking about those type of things. So, speed ahead, I did, because that seed was planted. I had some reservations about putting my car out there, the rental experience, what I was getting myself into. And I'm like, can I do this? I bought an Apple tracker and I bought a lockbox code that goes in the window so they can like get the key whenever. I don't have to like meet out there and do the exchange. And for almost 2 months, I just literally let my Acura sit there because there was something inside me that was like, girl. And I was like, take the risk, Ashley. What the heck? And I was like, this is ridiculous. I had paid the car note twice. The first time I actually went into Hyre Car, answered a few requests, started a conversation with an individual who was like, if all things go well, I'd like to keep the vehicle longer, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? Do it. Just do it. Stop being in your own way. You're a life coach. What the heck are you doing? All of this apprehension, all of this holding your breath, and what if this, what if that? You'll never know if you don't try. And I thought you about that life, right? So the first day I say, fine, accept request. It didn't go through. Hyre Car has a lot of things on the back end that it's going to take a lot of patience. Their website might be down. You know, you'll get these little emails like, you know, their systems, phones, whatever. Their customer service is a little on the shaky side. But I was like, but I'm not jumping out now. That's a small thing. That's a small glitch, you know, to work through. Okay. So the first day I hit accept, it took longer for it to process insurance on his side. And so being that we kept open communication and I was very open and honest about, hey, I accept the request, but it's still being slow. I'm waiting for the website said, the email said, don't rent the car out and hand over the keys until I get insurance verification. I don't know why it's taking so long, but it took over a day. He was like, no problem. Yeah, I noticed that the website and the app is moving slow too. Great. Okay. Communication, right? Let's just put all the cards on the table. I'm not going to just sit there and twiddle my thumbs like I've done this before. Okay? Like I know what's going on. So I finally get the insurance verification and I say, this is the lockbox code. Take the car. He says, great. I'll let you know when I take the car. Again, back to communication. My car does this little when it starts. Don't know what it is. They say it's nothing. It could be age. It is also 2015. I forgot to mention that. But once she gets her juices flowing, like the noise stops. So I was like, oh, and also too, just so you know, she makes a little noise. It's not like that loud of a ticking, but it's more like a purring. She purrs a little bit. She makes a little noise, but she's good for it. And he was like, okay, great thanks for the heads up. I want to say we're like 15 days in. That man still has my car. I'm so nosy. Y'all know I'll be in my window, but I'm watching the extensions roll in. And by the time Hyre Car takes their percentage, I get $33.75 a day. Now, that price is based on what I set it at, what they deduct. I set it at $45 because of the age and mileage. But my car is still very beautiful. She has Sirius XM radio, heated seats, leather seats, Bluetooth, the sunroof, and she's just cute, right? She's still a really good looking car. And so based on the comps, that's what I priced her at. So by the time Hyre Car takes their fees, I get $33 a day. Now my girlfriend was like, girl, that's not enough. It's an Acura. What are you doing? But I was like, let me just ease in, see where it goes. That $33.75, the drop in the bucket mentality, a drip can fill a bucket. That money is adding up. I'm already over $300. I'm thankful because now I've covered my car note. Now we're getting into, if he keeps it for the rest of the month, if he keeps it for a whole month, I'm making almost $1,000. That covers the Acura's note, my new car note, and some of the insurance. My point is, you cannot be afraid and base your decisions and taking chances, betting on yourself, taking risks, and trying things based on your own what if this, what if that, because we can sit here and have that conversation all day. And you also can't base it on what somebody else says, no matter who they are to you in your life. And I love my daddy, and I have the utmost respect for my daddy. But I'm like, on this one, I think, sir, respectfully, as an adult, as a 35-year-old grown woman. I'm not your little baby in this moment. I got to do what I got to do. Because are you going to give me the money to accept, say, $3,600 from the auto dealership or, say, CarMax and then pay the balance off? You may or may not, but I'm not asking you to do that. I mentioned it in passing, but I wasn't necessarily like asking for your permission or your advice. And when I have taken calculated investments on myself, I have always won. Why is that? Because my luck comes from my belief in myself. Even though it took me a little longer to take the step. Like, I'm not going to front on y'all. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not going to pay this car note again. By the third month, I'm not going to, no. My car note is only $297. That was the interest rate that I got then. Please try, and please keep in the back of your head, no matter what, it is a learning lesson. No matter what, I can grow from this. No matter what, something good has to happen from this. I will never know if I'm always in my head, if I'm always in my planner, if I'm always in my notebook, if I'm always in the house looking out the window, wondering what if. If I'm always just having conversations with friends and family, going around and around of all the scenarios and possibilities. I bet you right now, Hyre doesn't even have the best reviews compared to Turo and some other options out there. But for whatever reason, those avenues were not open for me. Hyre so far has been good to me. And then let me tell you the next thing. I don't know why I sound so congested, but we're going to keep going. Tiki, what are you doing? So maybe like 2 weeks in, he says, hey, the headlights are dim. I was like, oh, Lord. So he says, no biggie. I can replace the light bulbs and you can reimburse me, or I can give the car back to you. You do it. Take it to your mechanic if you don't want me touching your car, and then give it back. And I was like, okay, no, you do it and I'll reimburse you. Then he says, I've been doing some research. It's kind of something that's like kind of common with Acuras, further on down the road, blah, blah, blah. Because like I said, it is a 2015. And I said, okay, no biggie. Communication. I told him, matter of fact, the second day he had it, I said, hey, hope everything is going well. Please know I'm only a text away. I appreciate you. Anything I can do for you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm treating this like a business. I'm treating this like, you help me, I help you. I'm treating this like I'm taking this seriously. I'm not like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm not still doubting. I'm not still nervous pervous. I'm not still thinking, oh, this man's gonna wreck my car and he's gonna steal it and he could trash it and he's probably smoking it and he's probably doing all these illegal things and he's probably someone that isn't even authorized to drive, because some people could say, well, how do you know that was who picked up the car, and do you really even know if he has a valid driver's license, and do you even know this? Because I didn't help her. I wasn't micromanaging this thing. I was like, pull up, the car's parked wherever I tell you it's parked. I see your ID on the app. It says they verified your insurance. Bye-bye. I'm not going to be like investigating, all this stuff, because what do I have to lose? The car is sitting outside anyway. It's just sitting there. So I wanted to share my experience with Hyre for anyone thinking about it. Maybe you've even seen some bad reviews. Maybe you've heard the horror stories. But, okay, you could get in your own personal car and wreck tomorrow. I mean, I've been hit I don't know how many times. You know what I mean? I was hit in that car. They fixed it and everything, but it was annoying. But there's risk in everything. Bet on yourself, take a chance on yourself, and then step back in the sense of like, okay, no matter what, this is good. I'm good. It's going to be okay. I am thankful. Again, back to your perspective. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to gain something. Something's going to happen. And let me tell you another thing that brought me to wanting to share this story. I have a friend who is over 30 years older than me. When I talk about life with him, when I was like, what are your investments in? What did you do to make your money? Like, I know you've got stocks or this or that or something. Like, you're a scientist. You are, you should be established in life. So I know you're hiding the money somewhere, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because it comes off kind of on the frugal side. Not with me, but just in general. And that is how some people build their wealth too. Because they were frugal, because they're not flashy, the money is tucked in places that you would never think. And they drive older cars. Their home is paid off, or their mortgage is like $1,200 a month, $900 a month. Their interest rate is 2%. They've got all these things on the back end, but if you look at them, you could never tell. But when they can give you $500, when they can give you $1,000, when they can do this, do that, whatever, like it's nothing, you're like, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I said to him, okay, tell me your secrets. Like, you're a scientist, you're retired military, you're so smart. What's the secret? What should I do with my money? And he was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was never a big risk taker. He said it just like that. I want to know when I put my money somewhere, the exact amount of money is going to be there when I come back. And I was like, sir. Now, with inflation, you cannot hide your money under a mattress. Now, when I talked about my savings challenge with my little envelope system, okay, I'm only going to keep so much money in that for a certain period of time, and then I'm going to put it in the bank, right? So that's not indefinite. We know that you should do something with it. If nothing else, a high yield savings account where you can get 4 point something, maybe 5, depending on who you bank with. You've got to take that risk. You've got to do something, because something is better than nothing. And I could not believe that I was sitting in front of a man that I'm like, you've been around the world. You have degrees. You have properties. And you mean to tell me that you don't consider yourself a risk taker, and you really were more on the apprehensive side, so you didn't really do much? You could have done more and you didn't do much, and you have nothing to share with me? Aside from real estate. Real estate is pretty, I was like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to bet. No. Like, here's clearly someone that you are who you are to me. It is what it is. But, going back to people that come into your life to show you a lesson, show you yourself sometimes, or get you to the next level. This is someone that I know couldn't get me to the next level. I could never say, baby, give me $20,000, $30,000 because I want to invest. I want to take this chance. I want to take this risk. You know what I mean? I'll give you the money incrementally to do whatever you want to do, but I would never take that risk. I would never bet on you. I don't move like that. And then I got the nerve to play a lottery. And I'm like, that's not the same thing. He was like, well, it's just $5, $10. I'm like, that's not the same thing. Over all them years you've been playing the lottery, you could have been doing other things with that money. That's so I'm like, so you're smart, but then you're not smart? I don't know. I just was like, it was a moment for me to realize what I needed to know about myself. Not judge him, not question the friendship and our dynamic and, what the benefit is. It had nothing to do with that. It was about me seeing myself in 5 years, me seeing myself in 10 years and be like, you don't want to look up and life goes by so fast. And I haven't done the things that I needed to do that were calculated risks that would set me up. Okay? I'm telling you. Last thing about how I feel about, like, say, life coaching, for example. It was a risk. It was a chance to invest in a course, learn some of the fundamentals so that I can help other people. But at the end of the day, if I can't help myself, if I don't use the same fundamental tips and things like that, and talk through those things with you all and share with you all that I still, on a daily, coach myself, I still have to implement the very things that I learned from that course, from that experience, and that it also takes grit and patience. My God, it takes time. This is not like get rich quick. And I think when people don't see get rich quick, they think that, oh, you may not be a good life coach, or you may not be as successful as, you should be. We expect this, we expect that. When you don't get on here and say, make $10,000 in your first month, make six figures in your first year's life coaching, make 6 figures with this side hustle, that side hustle, with those big, bold, gaudy video art. What's the thing called? Like the main picture that you see on YouTube. Half the time mine are just a clip of the video that I'm posting. It's about knowing who you are, where you are, what you got, what you're working with, and where you're going with the things that you have to work with the time frame and resources and assets and knowledge base, all those things that you have. You cannot, and I cannot, we cannot, as a collective of women, as mothers, necessarily compare ourselves to each other and say, well, if you don't have this, you're not successful. And if you don't have that, I'm not successful. Or if I don't have that, I'm not successful. Oh, you live in an apartment, so you're not successful. Oh, you don't have whatever, so you're not successful. I could go on and on with the examples. The point is, you're able to have peace of mind, a clear concept, and clear understanding of, again, what you're working with, where you're going, and that in itself, and a higher risk tolerance than the other ones, because you're going to have to try different things. You're going to have to try. If you don't, you'll never know. That right there is, you're setting yourself up already. You're already taking, you're already well above, I guess, the next person. So, and again, this changes based on your situation. So there's a lot of content about quitting your 9 to 5, walking away, and being your own boss, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that individual may say that is a calculated risk that I should take. I should bet on myself. For someone else that is in the entrepreneurial realm and has a fluctuating income, sees different, industry norms and patterns in their income and their services and their products, whatever, high peak sale times, whatever, they might say, hey, I'm good on this, but I may need to take a calculated risk and go back to work to balance this thing out, or, do some other things and move in a different way. So my point is that it may not look like the same thing for everybody else, but it is moving forward. It is success, and it is calculated risk based on your situation. It is you taking the necessary steps for you. What's the best thing for you? Okay? And I've been very honest and open about my journey. I mean, there was a time where I was like, I'm not going back to school. I don't want a degree. I don't need a degree. Fuck it. Only to say never. Here I am back in business school yet again. Well, the first time it was nursing. The second time it was, okay, let me back up. The first time it was general studies. The second time it was nursing. The third time it was healthcare administration. And now it's business management. If that's not a mouthful, I don't know what is. But long term, with my skills, with my trajectory, with my interests, with my talents, with my life coaching, business management is a good way to segue into project management, because knowing how to manage a project, no matter what it is going to be beneficial to me, no matter what I do and where I go. Okay? So, having said that, I had to sit with myself. I had to figure that out for myself. That may not be the best thing for you. That may not be the best thing for Sally or Shaquita or whoever. But it's about knowing yourself, taking time with yourself. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring it back to self-care and self-love, because if you don't invest the time to know those things about yourself, understand those things about yourself, what you want, where you're going, then you're going to be spinning your wheels, and you're going to be like my friend who 30 years is going to fly by. You'll be in your 60s still trying to figure out what you need, which way to go, and is your retirement going to be enough? Who wants those problems when there's so much information, there's so much data, there's so many more options than there ever have been before? But if you don't, like the ant, prepare in the summer months, in the seasons when this is the season, when you're young and spry and got all this energy, your 30s is still good. You're still good. We're still good. 35, we're still going. This is the season, right? This is the time for me to store up everything that I can store up for myself, so that when I get 45, I want to be putting my feet up. I want to have certain things in place. I want to have a certain peace of mind that comes with, I don't need a boss. I don't have a boss. I did the work back then. I set myself up back then. Now I can enjoy my kids going to college. I may have a couple grandbabies. I don't know, at 45, maybe let's do mid-50s. But my point is, I'll be at a different place. I'll be at a different place. So, self-love, self-care. Make your space an environment where you can cultivate what you need to cultivate for yourself. Maybe you need to just have a space in your home where you're like, I can support myself and work through some fears of risk. I can take the time to pause, get out the crazy world, disconnect from social media, let all that noise and static and all those distractions go, stay in, go within, and work on some of these things that I need to work on, so that when I do step out and make decisions, make a move, try this, try that, I am better suited. Because I really don't know where else you're going to do that other than home, in the privacy of your own home. I don't care if it's an efficiency. I don't care if it's a basement apartment. I don't care if it's a regular apartment. I don't care if you have 300 square foot in New York City. Home is the only place that you can really go within and focus on self-care and self-love, and really do it to the nth degree. You see what I'm saying? To, in it to its fullest. And keep coming back to that. Keep the consistency. Get your rituals, get your routines, get your journals. Keep those things up about you. Quiet your mind. Take care of yourself. Disconnect. All those things. Those things are going to help you. Because if you have nervous, nervous energy, if you are in an anxious mess every time you leave your door, that is not going to benefit you. And then you show up like that in the world, and you just bring all that negative energy back home, and then it's just a vicious cycle. Okay? Speaking of space, I'm going to clean my space. I think I'm not going to go out. I'm going to stay in, tidy up, order in, and yeah. Happy Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy your time. Wow, this went longer than I expected. But I thank you for watching. So this was, just to recap, a Hyre car review / risk assessment / self-care, self-love. I hope you guys enjoyed, like I said, and I hope it helps someone out there. And into the next one, as always, peace. Bye.